If you own any kind of personal watercraft, it's only a matter of time before you end up with some dock rash, some little scuffs, dings, things like that in the finish. And while it may not affect the operation of the machine, it's an eyesore. So today we're going to talk about how you can fix that. And specifically, we're going to be focusing on this machine right here, which is a 2017 Yamaha Waverunner. Now Yamahas, at least modern Yamahas from the early 2000s on, have all been painted rather than gel coat, which makes repair easier in some ways and more difficult in others. And most recently, Yamaha has started using what is called a NanoXcel hull. And basically what that is when they're manufacturing it, they blend in little pockets of air, which makes the fiberglass material much lighter without sacrificing any strength. Now, that's great for performance, but for repairs, it makes it a little challenging. I've heard several skilled body guys say that the NanoXcel hulls are unrepairable. And today we're going to show you that that's not true. Now that George, the brains of our operation, is here, let's talk about what we're going to need to complete this repair. You're going to need some kind of a sander. I've got an air-powered DA sander, as well as various grits of sandpaper. I've got from 80 to 320. A blowgun for blowing away dust and dirt. We're going to need some rags, as well as a can of acetone, a razor blade, because we have to remove stickers in this case, which of course means we're going to need new stickers. You're also going to need some sort of a mixing tray. I've got these clean sheets things that work awesome for mixing fillers and things like that. And then, depending on the severity of the damage and the location, you may need different styles of filler. You can get stuff like this, Bondo glass, Bondo hair, that has chopped fiberglass in it that will make for a very strong repair. If, for example, your damage is somewhere like next to the bow hook in the front, where it's hitting ports when you pull up to get fuel on the lake or things of that nature, you're going to want to use something that's fiberglass reinforced. Then, for a finish coat, which is all we're going to need here because this is not a structural area and it's not getting hit, at least I hope it's not getting hit anymore, what we're going to use is a fiberglass resin jelly. Now this is a two-part stuff, so you're also going to need the hardener for any of the various fiberglass fillers that you have. So basically, we're going to peel this sticker off and then start sanding this back so that we can get a nice feather edge, fill it in, and then contour it to match the rest. Now, as you can tell, this PWC is going to need a lot more than just this patched. So we'll get to that. We're going to focus on this. For sake of showing you what needs to get done, I'm not going to do the entire hull of this jet ski. That would take far too long. So let's get this sticker peeled off and we'll go through the next steps. Alright, so now that our sticker's out of the way, I'm going to lift our hood up so that I can get good access under here and feather edge this back out with a DA sander. Now, here is the key point where this repair will be different than any other jet ski hull on the market. That is, those air pockets that are built into this fiberglass have tiny amounts of an oil or a wax type substance in them. So if you just try to apply filler to this like you would a standard fiberglass hull or even an automotive body panel, it won't stick because that is contaminated with wax. Anywhere you've sanded is now contaminated with wax. So grab yourself your rag, tear off a little section, and we get our acetone. Get some acetone on our rag here, and we're gonna wipe this whole area. See, some is probably from sanding. Just do like that. Now let that dry and give it a little extra time, especially if it's cold. We don't want to be applying filler to acetone. We want that acetone to all evaporate off and be nice and clean. So stir the jelly up a little bit and grab out about what you think you're going to need to fill in that hole. So I think that will be a good amount, probably way overkill, but we'll seal up our can, grab a spreader and our hardener. Put just a little dab of hardener in here. Doesn't need to be a lot. It's not much filler, so. Take our spreader, kind of spread this by folding it over on itself. So we don't want to put air pockets into this, otherwise we're going to have to sand them out. So we want to spread it out and get everything cleaned out of there. Okay. So now we'll take a little bit and we will just kind of fill that in, making it just slightly proud of the surface so that we've got room to sand back and end up with the same contour and shape that the original hull has in that spot. You have a little bit of time to work with this in case you need to add more. Or get it as smooth as you want. Once you're happy with it, let it sit for 10, 15, 20 minutes, however long, until it is nice and hard to the touch. Then at that point, we will move to the next step. So it's been about 15, 20 minutes. This is nice and hardened up now. So we can take our DA sander and knock this down close to where we want. This is where we're going to start using different grades of sandpaper so that we don't cut into the painted area too awful much, even though we are going to have to repaint a swath. Then just gently go at it and cut this back till we've got the same contour. Okay, that's getting pretty close, so I'm going to switch from 80 up to 180 grit. So now that we've got this sanded, feels nice and smooth, like it's pretty much the same contour there. I may need to add just a touch right on this ridge, but because I've sanded, there is now wax contaminating this whole area again, so rag acetone. Okay, let the acetone dry. We'll do another skim coat just to make sure we've got that contour just right, and then we'll sand it some more. Alright, so we left off on this right here where I had applied this other coat. A lot of stuff came up and I didn't get back to it as quick as I wanted, but it's nice and hard now. So I've got my DA loaded with some 180 grit paper, so we're gonna bevel this off so that it's nice, flows in here, and you won't even be able to tell after all is said and done. Oh yeah, that feels real good. Nice and smooth. It's got a good edge to it to match this body line, and it just sits perfectly smooth. So now, before we paint or do anything to this, we have to wipe it down again with acetone. So the key theme that you're seeing here with any bodywork to this NanoXcel hull is cleanliness. After you sand it, you got to clean it. Wipe it off with acetone. Anything that you do to disturb this hull needs to be cleaned with some sort of wax remover, acetone, something along those lines before you do the next step. Otherwise, nothing will stick to it. So clean off that wax between every coat of anything you do so that it will stick to the next coat. So what I'm going to do at this point is go around and fix all these other little divots and scratches and everything, because this one is ready to go. So I'm going to touch up everything else on this body that I want to, so that then we can wipe the whole thing down and I can respray it and have this look like a brand new machine. So after masking everything and spraying our first coat here, sanded, did everything that you saw, then just cleaned it up and sprayed our paint on there. And this is just one coat. You can see right here is where our repair was. And there's just a little dry spot there. So we're going to go back over, do a second coat on that. But take a look at the rest of this. This whole thing was just dinged up. See, I got some dry spots back here too, where I just didn't get quite enough paint on it. And then our second machine over here, same thing. A few dry spots here and there, but gorgeous paint. This stuff looks absolutely beautiful on these machines, and they will be really nice runners here very shortly. And then of course, after all of the paint is done, we can replace our stickers along here that we cut off. But I'm going to sit you back over on a tripod, mix up another batch of paint, and then spray a second coat on here to cover up those little dry spots. Everything's dried up nice. It's the next day. So we're going to peel all the masking off and show you how it looks. The repair finished over here and everything else done. Let's get to work. I'm happy. Looks nice. Look at this paint. There's some imperfections. but it looks really nice. We'll have to wet sand a little bit. I didn't quite get it masked perfectly around here, evidently, because there's some overspray there. But over here, if you look at this one, can't even really tell where our damaged spot was. It is completely invisible, and with the way that we repaired this, it will be as strong as it was from the factory. So all of this here, which it was, I do believe right here, I think, I don't know, somewhere in here, somewhere on this body line. But wherever it was, I'll have to even look back for my own sake. Looks really nice. All this paint came out great. It's not flawless, but it is really sharp. Looks really good. I'm happy with it. This will make a really nice jet ski. Front will be covered up with the rub rail, so you won't see that kind of messy looking front in there. But that's it. How to repair a NanoXcel hull on a newer Yamaha Waverunner. The key is cleaning it. Clean it, clean it, and clean it some more. Stay tuned, and hopefully you'll enjoy our other videos too. Thanks for watching.